What's up, YouTube? So I've been searching around to do a wiring for my flex fuel sensor, and I found plenty of them that explain exactly how this connector goes, which wire is which, and whatnot. So that's easy. That's the easy part. But the hard part is with this guy right here. I'm running Ktuner on my car, Ktuner, with a Bluetooth module, so I could see the things on their TunerView app and whatnot. I found exactly where is the pin that it goes to, which is this one right here. Let me get something to point at it. Is these two pins right here, and if you have one of these, you can see that it's facing down right now, but the one on the left side right here, this one, is the one for the signal, and the one on the right side right there is the one for the ground. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the board. Two wires come out of there and then go to the sensor. That's one of the things in the computer that you need to do, but I'll cover that later on. For now, let's focus on cables, wiring. To use it on these two things, you gotta have a set of pin connectors like this, a header connectors like this. I ordered this in Amazon. Just did a simple search for header connectors, two plugs, two connectors, whatever, and I found it. It's 10 of them for like $3. Can't complain. Both sides. I just cut this one up. So as soon as I cut this one up to so I could crimp it properly using crimps, I noticed that they are really thin compared to the Thefsol 18 gauge wire that I'm using. That's not gonna fly, at least not on my books. So what I did was I ordered another kit that is the connector itself and the header, so I can just crimp it using the existing wiring instead of like soldering and butt plugging and whatever on this side. So this goes away. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep the two wires that go to the ECU just separate and just let it be so I can connect those ones. I'll post a picture and a link in the description and a picture of the ones that I bought from Amazon right there. So if you need them, go check it out. All right, so things you need. Obviously, you're gonna need your flex fuel sensor. You will need your connector for the flex fuel sensor. I opted to get the one to crimp it myself. That way I don't have to be plugging anything. Soldering much. So I'd rather, crimp my own stuff. You're also gonna need your crimpers. Mine are still ratcheting, so good to go. Some wire cutters and wire strippers, because why not? And 3 sets of your choice color wire. I like to use Thefsol wire because of it's hit resistant, better than TXL, and the sleeving is a lot better. It's a lot smaller, so it can fit on different spots. And I'm using 18 gauge. Didn't see any recommendation for wires or whatnot, but it is what it is. The sensor itself uses a 12-volt signal to power. It has a ground and sends a signal out to the computer, and that signal is an analog signal. No, actually, a digital signal. So you can do your thing in the computer. All right. So from the ECU itself, what I was planning to do is use this connector right here, this two pin connector, because it's going to be in the ECU. It's going to be permanently in there. Well, I can remove it, but I just don't want to get the ECU, open it up or whatever every time that I do something. So what I was going to do is I was going to get this thing in there, but plug it here and have it outside. That way it's a direct connection. And the harness that I was going to use for the sensor itself, my plan is to have a direct harness. So pretty much a plug and play. Plug, 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 done. All right, so that's the idea. So let's get to it. this one. All right, so one thing I like to do to my crimping is to add some solder at the end to ensure that that wire will not come out. As you can see, I soldered that a little bit. Yes, it's crimped securely, but for the just in case, for the peace of mind, I also like to do that. Now, while I'm there, ensure that before you crimp these things, you insert those into the place. If not, you'll be doing this from the other end of the cable. You put them in. All right, and then you have to slide it through the whole thing. Sucks to be me. Okay, so when it comes to the connector or the pinout itself, the sensor, if you get one of those Continentals, GM's official ones like this one, it has markings. So the one to the far right here is the signal, the middle is the ground, and the one to the far left is the 12 volt. All right, so the power technically. And as far as the connector, it's as simple as this. So once you have your stuff crimped up, right, it's crimped, as you can see. Where is my camera? Right there. Now that you have it crimped, I'm gonna use the purple one as my signal. I'm gonna use the blue one as my ground. No, I'm gonna use the blue one as my 12 volt, and the brown, which is down there somewhere in my lap, as my ground. So this will be my 12 volt, and the brown will be my yeah. So you just gotta put it in there. Make sure you line this up on the hole and push it in. That's it. You hear the click, and it's done. I like to push the covers, the weather protecting cover, even though this thing is not gonna be outside. Give it a little nice tug. And if it doesn't come out, then good to go. Now to the third one. Cool. So I did use a brown for different connector inside of the car. So that's my shortest cable, my shortest wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp this one that will go inside of the ECU out. That way I can have a straight connector and see exactly where I'm going to do that. So let's do that right now. All right, since my blue and brown are my signal and ground, which is what we need inside of the ECU, let me cut 2 small pieces of the blue and brown. This should be more than enough. And I can just trim it as needed when the other 2 bulkheads come in. So for right now, this is what we got. So let's work on this sensor right here. This thing. I'm going to put the female, well, the short one, the small one, on the ECU, and I'm going to use this one outside. Or let's see, yeah, let me put this on the ECU, and this one will go on the actual harness itself. So let's crimp this one. So if you don't know the difference, the one that I'm going to be using in the ECU side is the one with the female ends. This one right here, female ends, and the other one used in the actual harness itself will be the one with the male ends, if you don't know the difference between these two. All right, so let's start crimping and go from there. In the accessory, I'm using this one for my sub, which I can use my sub, this thing. I can turn it on without power. I can turn it on its own once it receives the signal from the speaker. So I might just do that. And why am I shaking? And the top 2, I'm using it for a relay in the front for the fans, and the second one for the water pump for the aftercooler of the supercharger. So I'm going to use this one that has a 12 volt switch, and the number 5 down there is also a 12 volt switch. So I can just use the number 5 and send it. So my wires, where did they go? They are here. They went somewhere. Nicely measured. I put some zip ties on them just to verify. I already marked my 12 volt switch power, and these two will go to the connector, so I can ground it here and go into the sensor whenever the ECU is in there. Next thing, I'm going to put some sleeving on this thing. Oh, my cover is coming off. I'm gonna sleeve this thing with some wire mesh and go from there. That's pretty much it, peeps. So, oh, let me take you to the inside of the house now. Take you to the house right now and show you in the computer what you need to do in Ktuner to get your flex sensor to work. Stand by. All right, so here's the harness completed. This side obviously to the sensor. Here's the common ground from the ECU and the sensor itself. This one will go to the 12-volt signal from the fuse box that I showed earlier. This should be more than enough to get there. It's still not loomed because obviously I have to make sure that everything fits properly. Here's the quick disconnect from the main harness, and this will be the one that goes to the ECU. So technically this will be here. It will come out as such. Once I get those two pins, they'll go in the ECU like this, right here, and standing out. So technically this will be plugged in, and that's it. I remove the ECU just like the USB cable. It will come out and it's there. To plug it in, then I'll just grab this thing and plug it in, bloop, and the sensor should be up and working. Once this thing gets 12-volt power from the fuse box, and the common ground is connected. So these two grounds right here, these two grounds, one is from the ECU itself, comes out to one of these, and the other one is from the sensors. All right, and lastly, we're gonna finish this video on the Ktuner stuff, or like in the actual Ktuner software. Here, I have already changed to one of my Datalogging windows. This one, I had the gears, you know, whatever, it is what it is. So I changed it to the ethanol content. How do you change it? You right click on it and then you set type and check and check whatever it is on this list. So we're good to go there. Ethanol content, I should be able to see it here. Now, in order to change the settings to put your ethanol settings, actually, you go to your parameters on the side, right? And you go down to advanced features. And under advanced features, you're gonna have a flex fuel add-in, right? Here, you can do adjustments by content adjustment or temperature adjustment. In my case, I am going to do content adjustment. I have not touched this table yet, so don't bash me for the numbers, but I will be changing this table once the car is running again on its own power. But yeah, I'll be doing changes here. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet, but it'll be a trial and error. Should be straightforward. Ethanol percentage from 0 to 85, because I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be 100% ethanol around here. And then the percentage value that you wanna add based on the ethanol content in the second line, and ignition adjustment if you want any ignition adjustments made. Same thing for temperature if you want to do temperature. Fuel temperature, I don't have a fuel temperature sensor, so all of these will be 0, so I don't have to be messing with anything. But same thing as ethanol content, the temperature will be the same. Based on whatever temperature you want to set up over here, you add the fuel adjustment and the ignition adjustment. Then again, this is what I'm going to be focusing in. Ethanol content, few percent, and ignition adjustment. Again, you find it under the parameters, the advanced features, straight up to flex fuel. There should be nothing else that you have to do in order to get this thing going. I don't think you have to check anything else, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. And oh yeah, hold on. Under edit, there's preferences. I'm pretty sure you have to select the type of fuel under the wideband. Yep, gas type. Ethanol. Right there. Once you choose that, good to go. Then you click OK. And your parameters, I believe, will be a lot richer. Your tables should be a lot richer on their own. Oh yeah, look at that. Way different now.
That way your TPS will read the correct way. The ethanol content will be, read the right way and blah, blah, the whole nine yards. Anyways, yes. So those two things. Change the fuel under edit, preferences, wideband. Change it here. That way you can read gas type from 9, the style of gas, whatever, 9. I'm good to go. That way the stoichiometry of ethanol is 9, reads 9, and then whatever high will be there. Once you get that done, you go down to your flex fuel under advanced features, and you will set up this table right here. That is pretty much it. So again, the wiring harness right here. This will go to the sensor, so pretty much to the sensor on the back, forwards in the car. This will go to one of the voltage output on the fuse box on its own. This is the share ground, which is for the sensor itself, and then for the pin on the Ktuner. And of course, I have this one, which will be pinned to the two wire header inside of the computer right there. That's it. Pretty much it. So with that, I hope I cleared out some questions. I know there's a ton of videos out there of how to connect the flex fuel sensor into a K-Pro, into all the vehicles, link ECUs, AM, stuff like that. But I have not seen one specifically for Ktuner. So that's how I'm going to do it. Running it directly to the thing. I saw in the forums as well when I asked if you have to use a not a capacitor, freaking, what's the name? Oh my God. A resistor to the line, and I was told no, the board has it, it's good to go, so send it. And also, yeah, that's pretty much it. So my data log thing that I use for my data logging is my tablet, which let me show you real quick. So on my tablet, I have all of my preferences. This is the Tuner View app on a Samsung tablet, which goes in the center dash of my car. Yeah, so it goes map, TPS, ECT, IAT, AFR, flex fuel content right there. It's gonna tell me how much how much ethanol is on the fuel, voltage for the battery, the degrees, the ignition to see how much ignition I'm running, the gear that I'm in. I don't know why I have that because it is what it is, and the NUC count. So all of these, the reason why it's got colors is because it's got highs and lows. So that's what I'm using to data log. So with that, I'm going to finish the video. Hopefully this little how-to helped out a couple people that had questions about Ktuner and flex fuel. I'll be making a second video for flex fuel when the car is running, like I said before. That way I can show that the actual thing is working. As far as location, you saw previously earlier, it's nighttime already. I've been doing other things here in the house. How I run my fuel lines, where my flex fuel sensor is at, and how everything is working on the car. So from there on, just continue watching the channel, and I'm going to continue to post things that people haven't done yet and how I do it in my car. So with that said, I'm going to finish it up over here. Go back into your garage, finish your stuff, stop procrastinating like I have been, and careful. Don't be messing around and getting cuts like I did. So finish your projects. Go in the garage, finish your projects, and I'll see you out there in the streets. Peace!